everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Gabby. So I'm going to be doing a TBR for March. I just haven't done TBRs. I really failed. I think the last one I tried to do was back in September or August, and I just completely failed on them. But there are some books this month that I really want to read, so I thought let me just go through my TBR. I also want to pick some random books with my TBR jar that I got from Illumicrate, which we all got from Illumicrate, let's be honest. This wasn't just me, but I decided to fill it up the last few weeks, and I used it a little bit for a vlog in February, which you might have seen, and I really enjoyed pulling some random books from my shelves. So let me go through the books that I definitely want to read this month. Some are for a specific video that I want to do. So one of the first videos, I think it was the first video that I officially did on my channel, was rereading 5-star books from my past and are they any good. And so I want to do that again, and I did do a recent little mini haul where I did buy 3 books that I've already read, but I do not recall the story all that well. I mean, some of them I do recall the story really well, but I don't know if they're going to be 5-star reads. So they're all a little bit different actually. Well, there's 2 romances and then 1 like thriller. So the first one is One Day. I read this years and years and years ago before the movie came out, and then obviously I watched the movie and I loved the movie and the book. Obviously there's a Netflix TV show out now, and I just wanted to be like, okay, fine, do I still like this book? So this is One Day by David Nichols, and it is really, really good. I personally really like this book. It actually has a lower rating than I expected it to have, but it is just one of those books where it's a romance, but you know, it's not one of these typical romances. I think it's really well done, and that's all I'm going to say, because if you don't know, you don't know. Next book that I want to read is The Key to Midnight by Dean Koontz. I read this back when I was a teenager, and I remember liking it. I don't remember anything about it. It is about this girl. She's haunted by a horrifying nightmare. There's this guy that wants to help her, whatever. But I honestly couldn't tell you anything else. And even reading the synopsis, I don't remember. Like, it didn't spark any memory, but I remember really liking this as a child. So I'm gonna reread this, see if I like it for that vlog. And then the third book that I'm gonna read for that vlog is Mr. Maybe by Jane Green. This is a really old book. It was published in 1999, so it could be completely outdated, but I did read this back in the day. I think my mom had a copy of it and I read it. It wasn't really a child's book to read. I wasn't a child, but I was a teenager, I believe, when I read it, and I just wanted to know if I still like it or if it translates as a 30-something-year-old. So obviously this is a little romance. It's more of your typical romance as opposed to One Day, which is more like literary fiction, but yeah, anyway, so I'm gonna read those 3 books, and they're definitely books that I want to read in March. And then another book that I was really trying to finish actually in February is Empire of the Storms by Sarah J. Maas. This is the 6th book. It is technically the 5th book, but I count Assassin's Blade as the 1st book, even though you don't have to read that, it's just the novellas. Anyway, this is the 6th book, this is what I'm saying, and I have 2 more after this, and I've been trying to read this series since December, and I've been failing miserably, and I'm not even halfway with this book. It's just taken me ages to read this. This one in particular I've been trying to read since the end of December. I think that's like when I officially read the first few pages, and then I don't think I read anything in January, and then in February I tried to do a little push, but I'm struggling with these books because I do find them quite boring. I'm gonna be honest. I have rated all of the books kind of like a 4. I think I've been rating them high because I think ultimately they're not terrible, but I might rate this one down because it's just taking me forever. And honestly, if I wasn't trying to read the whole series, I would have DNF'd it and, you know, just moved on, but I don't want to do that. I want to complete the series because I bought the whole series, so I want to read the other 2 in March as well. So this one I think I'll be able to finish this next week. These 2, I've seen people read them in tandem, and that seems to be the best way to read them. I don't know if that is a way that I'm going to be able to read it, but I'm going to try. So there's quite a lot of books already that are already on my TBR for March that I really want to read through. I mean, these Sarah J. Maas books are absolutely enormous. So like the actual page count for March, if I get through all this, is going to be amazing. So those are the 6 books that I want to finish on my own, but we are going to pick, I think, maybe 2 books for my TBR. I don't want to go crazy because I think this is already quite a lot of pages to get through and I might struggle. So we're going to pick at least 2 books, and also I'm a mood reader, so I might just end up reading something completely different. But let's go in here. I don't have a huge amount, but I do have a decent amount of prompts in here, and we're just going to pick them at random. So we got 1, and then we have 2. Okay, so I do have them color-coded, but it's nothing crazy. Okay, so this is an overhyped book. I don't know if you're gonna be able to read that. So overhyped book. Okay, and then this next one is book with great first sentence. Okay, so I'm gonna have to like read first sentences. I kind of like this because I do read the first sentence of a book and I kind of enjoy it, or the first paragraph of a book. So let's do that. Let's get an overhyped book. It's gonna be like a romance. I know it's gonna be a romance. All right, so this is my, obviously, bookshelf. I did pick up You Again recently in my book haul. So I feel like this is kind of an, I don't know if it's overhyped, but it is a hyped book. Bunny is not, I don't know if Bunny is like an overhyped book, but it was hyped up and people either hate it or love it. Maybe I'll have you like this. I mean, Feybound, I would say, is a hyped book. I don't know if it's overhyped. This one, everybody hates that one. I mean, Yellowface, had I not read it, would have been perfect for this. So, overhyped book, I do not know. Okay, this is gonna be hard. Let me think. Overhyped, I mean, Ninth House, maybe, potentially. Is that overhyped? I mean, I think people love this book, so I'll put it to the side. I think it could potentially be another one. I got Atlas 6, which I think a lot of people disliked, so I don't know if I want to pull it for overhyped. What do I want to pull? The Paris Apartment, is that overhyped? Is it overhyped by Lucy Foley? I mean, I think a thriller would be actually kind of fun to read. Obviously, I have all the other Sergio Mas here, which could potentially be overhyped, but I've read them. Godkiller, is that overhyped? Because I have seen some people say they didn't like it. So maybe that one has been overhyped. Maybe I'll pull that as an option. This is a little bit trickier than I imagined. I could just do the Crescent City, but I don't want to. Not right now. Let's see, overhyped. Ooh, this one. Everyone hates it. Everyone hates this, and it was overhyped on TikTok. This is probably going to be the one, but I'll double check. I think that one needs to be pulled. I do have the 7 Year Slip. I don't think it's going to be overhyped though, so because people seem to love it. And ooh, maybe Flawless, because I've read Reckless and I hated it, but I have seen that Flawless has some decent, you know, reviews, and people seem to, like, people that I watch on YouTube seem to have enjoyed this one, so maybe I'll pull this one for overhyped as well. I really want to read Leech. I've seen a lot of good things about this book. Just want to read. Let's see the first sentence. The sight of this old train car saddens me, though I cannot quite articulate why. Let me look at the Paris Apartment, because thrillers usually have good first lines. So if we start in the prologue, his fingers hover over the keyboard. That's it. That's the first sentence. Like, how can I judge that? That is not very interesting. Let me look at His and Hers by Alice Feeney. Gosh, this one. I got this at a charity shop. I don't know. First line. It wasn't love at first sight. I kind of like that. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of like that. Oh, this one. The Nesting by C.J. Cook. This is like a Swedish horror, or like folklore or whatever. So Aurelia sprints through the dark forest, her white nightdress billowing like a cloud, her strides long and swift across the carpet of bark and brambles. That's the first sentence. When Women Were Dragons by Kelly Barnhill. Let's see. Greetings, mother. I do not have much time. What the River Knows. So let me just read that first line. Right, this is another prologue. A letter changed my life. That's it. That's the first sentence of this one. A Study in Drowning by Ava Reed. I have seen a lot of people like this book as well. Okay, the poster was as frayed and tattered as a page torn from someone's favorite book. After the forest, it is a delicate thing, the smoking of a wild beehive. Oh, I like that. Okay. I have 2 of these in this series. This is the Plated Prisoner series. I don't think there's like 6 of them or something. I only have 2 of the books. I think this is the first one. So let me just see if I like the first line of the first one, because it might be fun to start the series. I lift the gold goblet to my lips as I watch the show of naked flesh through the space between my bars. Ooh, I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, all right, so I pulled these 4 for the first line of a book. I kind of like this one the best. Guild by Raven Kennedy. This is the first book. This is the story of King Midas. I'm not super familiar with the retelling of this, so I don't really know. It's about a girl who's captured, I think, or whatever. I think it's a romance. And then we have, let me just look at this one again. I actually like these. I think these 2 were the ones that I like the most. And honestly, if I'm gonna be honest with you, because I say honestly, I think I'm gonna pick this one because it's a thriller. I don't really have it in me to start a series when I'm trying to finish a series. So we're gonna go with His and Hers by Alice Feeney. This is about a woman is murdered in Blackdown Village. Newsreader Anna Andrews is reluctant to cover the case. Anna's ex-husband, DCI Jack Harper, is suspicious of her involvement until he becomes a suspect in his own murder investigation. Someone is lying and some secrets are worth killing to keep. So yeah, we'll add a thriller to my TBR because I think that'll be fun. And then these were all of the overhyped books. But to be fair, I don't think like some of these are overhyped. They're probably just really liked books. So I think out of these, it has to be the villain one, right? Because I've seen people say that this was awful, but it like kicked off on TikTok. I think that's what the story is. So, and that's why I bought it too. Like I bought it because everybody else was buying it and now everyone's saying it was horrible. So I think this is an overhyped book. So I'm gonna read this one. This is Assistant to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Mayer. And I think it's about a girl who's an assistant to a villain. And people have issue with it because it's a romance and it's not very good. So we're gonna add this to my TBR as well. So 2 like weird like thrillery, I don't even know if this is a thriller. I think it's just a romantasy because I think there's fantastical elements in here. I think so. It's a fantasy romance. Yeah, okay. So that's 8 books. I generally read about 8 to 10, maybe sometimes 11 books. So I think 8 is a good number for me, because then it allows me to pick up anything else if I'm struggling with any of these, or if I manage to finish them all and I still have the month. I mean, March is a longer month, and as long as I don't get in a reading slump, I think I'll be fine. So these are the books that I hope to read in March, but we will see. All right, if you read any of these books, let me know. But yeah, I'm really excited to reread those 3 books that I have, just to see if my tastes have changed or if they actually are good books. I have a feeling one day will still be a good book, but the other 2, a little bit iffy. They're older and just might be a completely different story after I reread them. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you'd like to, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.